Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we are out by the University of Central Florida for all you football fans. Remember that team was, I think they were 11-0, maybe 12-0. Great team, great school. But that's where we're at. We're close to the university. And what we're doing here is we're going to hook up some yard drains to a sump pump and send that all out to the front. Let me show you what's going on so you can see why we're doing that. So if you take a look, you can see that the yard's sloping this way and then back to this direction. Let's take a look a little further back, and you can see there's a low spot right over there. You can see the wood rot that's taking place along the fence. What's happening is when it rains hard, that wood rot that you see, that's the water level. It floods up that high. Water from the pool lanai comes across. There is a micro channel drain. It comes out. We've got the super gutter from the lanai as well that comes down. All that water is coming out. We've got neighbors downspout and gutter that comes down and all floods into this area. And they have tried to put some drainage in here, but of course it's actually uphill as it goes up to the street. So the homeowner did put in a sump pump. It's just a little pump, and you can see just a tiny garden hose as a discharge. Of course that does move the water out, but it takes a long time to do so. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the existing catch basins, this line that comes across. There's a French drain under there. We're going to bring that over to a new sump basin over here where Dan's digging. We're going to put a new basin and a new Zoller M98 half horsepower pump and tie all that into the sump basin and send our discharge line all the way out to the front. Straightforward project. Let's go ahead and get started. So you can see this is where the downspout originally went. They had it splashed out. We took that off. We're going to dig this whole section up right across here and put a catch basin here to pick up this channel drain water, because a lot of water comes out of there and we don't want it to get all the sand down in there. We'll hook the downspout up. It goes through the catch basin and runs over to where Dan's digging the sump basin. Okay, so just so you guys understand, if you can see the grade here, if you're going to install a catch basin, these are 9 by 9 inch catch basins, so the line's about 8 inches deep where it starts. And that catch basin is actually high, but if you look, can you see the uphill run as it comes up the hill there to where Joe's digging? And let me just show you why. We're going to attach this line to our sump basin, but over here where I found it, the line's no more than maybe 4 inches deep to the top of the pipe. So that line runs uphill. There's just no way that catch basin could work. So we probably will redig this all the way back to that catch basin to try to give it better fall. Otherwise it just won't work. Line has to run downhill to your discharge, and our discharge is the sump basin. We can go down pretty deep into that basin, and then the pump can lift it up and send it out. So you can see they had a trash can here as their little sump basin, and a little tiny pump, probably 1/4 of a horsepower, which is not enough to move any real water. And then of course the garden hose discharge, it's really slow. It does move water, so it eventually would drain the area. But if you're going to put a pump in, you really need to have something that's going to move water fast. And that's why we use the Zoller M98 down in a deep basin, and that pump pushes 80 to 90 gallons per minute. Behind you, man. It's all good. I'm just in your way right here. Go ahead. So you can kind of see what some obstacles are here. We've got pool return lines. Over here is the pool filter, and a lot of pool return lines that we've got to get under. And it's a good distance to tunnel. It looks like Joe's already got it. He's already underneath it there. And what we're doing again is from that catch basin over there, the original installer, the landscaper, whoever installed it, it ran uphill to here about 4 inches. And again, no way that could possibly drain. Okay, so now it's time to set up our sump basin. I've already made the measurements for our inlet lines. We've got a line that comes in this side, and we have another line that comes in on this side. We're going to use a 4-inch hole saw and drill the 4-inch hole for the inlet. So this is one side, and then we're going to take the hacksaw and cut off this nipple because that's the level that we want to be at right there. And that sets up the sump basin that quick. We do have one more hole to drill, and it's going to be for our discharge. It's going to be for the 1.5-inch discharge. It's going to be for the 1.5-inch discharge, and it's actually going to come out right above this inlet. So let's go ahead and drill that hole. This is a 2-inch hole saw. This is the exact outer diameter of 1.5-inch pipe. So our pit sets up where we have an inlet line coming in. This is coming from the catch basin I showed you. This line is coming from a downspout and from 2 micro channel drains. That's going to come into this side a little bit deeper because of the catch basins where we're setting them. They're deeper than the other ones that we're installing. So you can adjust your basin any size you want. Let's go ahead and set up the sump pump. So we're using a Zoller M98. It comes with a 3-year warranty. This is a 0.5 horsepower pump. Pushes about 60, 70, 80 gallons a minute. We're pushing it pretty far. That's called the head, how far we're lifting water and how far we push it out. We call that the head of water. But it'll easily keep up with what's going on here in the backyard. So let's go ahead and set that pump up. Okay, let's set up the Zoller M98. Let me show you everything that we need to do all of this stuff. It's nice if you have, a handy dandy Black & Decker 2-inch hole saw, 4-inch hole saw. You'll need some PVC cement. You're going to need your check valve, and I'll show you that in a second. You need a 3/16-inch drill bit. It's nice if you have a 5/16-inch nut driver, hacksaw, and pipe. So what we're going to do is start with a male threaded 1.5-inch adapter. Screws right into a port. There's actually screws in here, if you can see them. There's screws right there, or threads, and we're going to go ahead and screw this in just as tight as our hands can make it. Next, I cut a small riser. This is our piece that comes here, and all we're doing is getting above the bar so that we can install a check valve. And a check valve only allows water to flow one direction, only one way that water can flow. A check valve only allows water to flow one direction, and you can see the arrows that kind of help you determine which way that flows. We'll need that to go on top of the small riser, okay? So let's glue up that much first. I'm using an OD product. This is an all-in-one. It has a primer built into it. We're going to glue up both pieces, our riser and inside the fitting. Push and hold, only for a second, and now it's tight. I mean, you can see me lifting up the pump. It welds right away. Next, we're going to put our check valve on. Remember, we want to make sure that the arrows are pointing up. This is held together with black rubber no hubs and stainless steel clamps. Real simple. Use your 5/16-inch nut driver and tighten that up just as tight as you can make it. Perfect. I've already tightened up the 2 center clamps. And then when we go over to the sump basin, we'll have another riser that comes up out of the top, and it's going to turn with a 90 and discharge, and that's going to send it out to the front walk. Finally, remember I said you need a 3/16-inch drill. What we're going to do is drill a hole right here. This hole is a pressure relief so that nothing can get airlocked. Remember, we've got a check valve. We don't want it to get airlocked, otherwise it won't pull up any water. So we're ready to go ahead and set the basin, the pump, and install the whole system all at once. Okay, so what we've got, you can see how we've plumbed all this together. This is important because we're catching a channel drain, and you see the micro channel drain where it comes out. There's not a lot of fittings that you can put directly into the 4-inch corrugated. So what I like to do is to put a catch basin here, and you notice that we are below the bottom of the channel drain. We've hooked up the downspout, comes down, runs through the channel drain, comes over. They actually have another channel drain right here. So we did the same thing. That water will come out and go into the catch basin. You can see it really goes downhill, and it goes down into the sump basin. And then what we did was we hooked up a new line from the existing system. There's a catch basin here and a catch basin back there. And as water floods into this area, it'll go into these basins down through our line. You can see it dropping down. We did put a T on it and dug up some more of that pipe just to be safe and give it double drainage. But the existing line ran uphill, so we tried to give it more fall. So then we've got that 4-inch line. You can see it coming underneath. Goes over, comes into the sump basin. Sump pump setup. Remember, we set it up above, above ground. Got the pit, set it all down in place, laid the pump in there, and we've got a check valve allowing water to only flow up through the valve. No hub connects another small riser to a 90, which sounds, this is the water coming up out of the pump. Sorry, it comes through. I put a no hub here so we have access in the future. Comes over, makes another 90, and now we're just gluing up the 1.5-inch pipe as it runs all the way out to the sidewalk. Okay, out here at the discharge, what we're using is a little donut, and this is adapting from Schedule 40 PVC to thin wall PVC, and it goes together like this. Basically, we're going to glue all these pieces up. This piece is going to glue onto the 1.5 inch. Let's do that. Don't spill your glue. Just pop it on there. Sorry about that, the camera fell over, but glue your little donut on. And then we're going to glue a 3-inch thin wall PVC. Thin wall means that it's got rated at 3,000 pound crush, and that is a crush rating 6 inches under the ground. Pop that on, square it up. Then we're going to put some set screws in here to hold it all together. We're going to use a green adapter out here. This is just a 1-inch set screw, 5/16 inch bit. We're going to drill right into the side. Just need one, because the pump's powerful. When it comes on, it can pull that right off of there, so we don't want that to come apart. And that's it. Now we can backfill, and I think I'll try to test the system for you, show you how well it works. So we're just running water into catch basin to test it. What it does is it goes into the basin, down the line, over to the sump basin. You can see we put some stone on the top just to hold it in place until it gets tight around it, because water can flood underneath right now and push it up, so we want to keep some weight on it. And I showed you out front, that water comes right out. Looks okay, so you can see the water. We already have run water in the back. You can see it already came out right here. But we'll let it run for a second, see if it'll go one more time. Yeah, see how it bubbles up? That means the pump kicked on, comes out through there, just bubbles out, comes across the ground and disappears. So system works. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day. So a good thing to do is always clean your drains. We recommend that you clean them about every 3 to 5 years. You can go to Home Depot or Sunbelt and rent a machine similar to what we use. This is a Spartan 1065. The way the machine works is, you can see that reel spinning around. There's spring wound cable inside the reel. This is 3/4 inch stainless steel cable. As you push the cable down through the line, if it hits a stoppage down there, wherever it's at, that cable will build up tension and continue to build tension until it either breaks free or you have to stop and pull your cable back. So a little bit difficult to run, but not that hard. Something you guys can easily do yourselves. So we're sending the cable down the line, and you can actually hear this as it comes through the pipe. Let's see if we can figure out where we are. Oh yeah, I'll get down closer here in a second. Can you hear that? That cable is right here. We want to send it all the way back to the Sump Basin. We're going to clean 2 lines, just to be sure. They're the original landscape line that they put in that did not work, but we're still cleaning it because it does help. I mean, if it ever did flood high again, that line would begin to flow. But right now, it all goes over to the Sump Basin, and I showed you that. It works tremendous. It works way better than gravity. So we're doing great. We got this line coming back. It's all looking good. Let's go ahead and pull this one back and clean the second. So what we're doing is we're cleaning the downspout drain and the yard drain, French drain. We've got a Spartan 1065. This is a sewer and drain cleaning machine, but we've adapted that to clean all kinds of lines. And what we're doing is it's a spring wound cable, 3/4 inch. And we're going to stick this down in the corrugated pipe. Yes, corrugated pipe. It will not hurt that pipe at all. And it's a big misconception. You hear all that stuff on the web, read about it, people tell you. If your line's broken or collapsed, well, it's broken or collapsed, and it won't make any difference. This cable is not going to hurt that at all. It won't hurt it at all. So we're just sending the line down. You can see the way the system works, the way the machine works. You can see the reel spinning. This is a spring wound cable. As it goes down the line, if it hits a stoppage, it'll stop turning down there. And the reel keeps turning, builds up tension, just like a slinky. And all of a sudden, it's going to spin really fast and cut any roots or debris that are down the line. Again, if the line's broken or collapsed, hey, it's broken or collapsed. We dig it up and make a repair. There's no big deal. So we're cleaning this line. Looks like it's in good shape. It's about 100 feet back to the back. We'll clean all the way back there, pull the cable back, and we're done.